What is up, everybody? It is your boy Nick Noodles coming at you with another great video. And in today's video, we're going to be doing a custom paint job on a Nike by You dunk that I did. I was not fortunate to hit the initial release. People were literally botting that shit. I have no idea how, but I was able to get it off the restock about a month ago. Shout out to Browser for pinging us. And for whatever reason, Nike didn't save my design, so I had to like frantically go and recreate the design I wanted to ship out. Luckily, I was able to get it in time before it sold out because it did go pretty fast. However, I did make a lot of mistakes when creating this shoe. So I'm going to take this colorway and transform it into a Chicago colorway. I know, very original. But again, I did get some details wrong, such as the gray laces. It won't look that bad, I don't think, but I think it'll look better with white or black laces, so I might have to do a lace swap in the future. The next thing I got wrong is the bottom of the sole here. It should be red, but I got black. Again, the black doesn't look too terrible, but it is what it is. It could be a worse color, I guess. The midsole here, I got sail, which I wanted on purpose just to give it the little bit of an aged look, and it looks pretty good. You can definitely tell the difference between the midsole and the white leather here. But the biggest mistake is on the back Nike tag right here. This logo is orange, and it definitely should not be orange. It should be black, I believe. So that's a little bit of an L, but I think once I paint this black, it won't look as bad. And I don't know, maybe it'll look more unique. But the paint job should be pretty easy on this. I'm going to show you guys every step of how I'm going to recreate the shoe. But really all I have to do is just paint this white and paint this back area black. But it should be pretty easy with some painter's tape and the right prep. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. So in order to prepare the surface for painting, we have to remove the top layer of paint or clear coat that's already on there. And to do that, I'm just using acetone, cotton balls, and Q-tips. I apologize for the angles. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. But for the larger areas like the toe box, I'm using cotton balls. And for some of the smaller details like around the edges, I'm using Q-tips. You want to be careful not to get acetone where you're not going to be painting because it will, ruin the paint that's already there. As you can see, I went through a lot of Q-tips. This is what it looks like after removing that top layer of paint. It's kind of blotchy, so I would just let them sit after you've done this. I put shoe trees in mine so that it retains the shape, but definitely make sure that it's dry before you start painting. So after it's dried, you're going to want to put some painter's tape so that while you're painting, there is a little bit of wiggle room in case you mess up. And this process can take a little while, but it is definitely worth it because then you don't have to touch up as many things after the paint job. So I'm just using blue painter's tape here and going around the edges where I am going to be painting. And this is pretty much what it looks like. And now we are ready to paint. Now it's finally time to paint, so you're going to want to use Angelus leather paint or any type of leather paint. I'm using a flat black and a white. Nothing too fancy here. The brushes also don't really matter. I'm using a larger one on the toe box and a smaller one on the back. And you're going to want to make sure that you do multiple coats of paint. Do thin layers, take your time. If you're using a lighter color, it's going to take a few coats before you see a solid color. I personally wait 15 to 30 minutes in between coats, maybe even longer if I'm doing other stuff in the day. So definitely take your time. This right here is the second layer of painting, and you can see it's slowly starting to come together. The white definitely isn't going to look as good until you have multiple layers on it. As you can see, you can still see the red here. The back is starting to look pretty good. This is the third layer, and as you can see, the red is slowly disappearing, but it's still kind of there. The back again looks pretty good, and I did mess up on the sock liner, but we can touch that up pretty easily, so I'm not too worried about it. And then I also decided to paint the back orange Nike logo. I decided that since the original one is black on the SB Dunk Low, and that black won't look as bad, and the orange was just kind of throwing me off, I decided to just paint over it. Now, not much prep was needed because it is just thread, so don't be afraid to paint over it. It doesn't look as good here because there is a little bit of orange, but after a few layers, it will start to look normal. So in total, I did about 5 or 6 coats of black paint on the back heel and about 7 to 8 coats of white paint on the toe box. Now it's finally time to take off the painter's tape. This took me about a day because I started at night and then continued the next morning, and I was kind of doing stuff in between coats, so it could have been done a little bit faster, but definitely take your time. Otherwise, you will have a lot of imperfections. I still ended up with some, so that just goes to show how patient you really need to be with this. But I hope you all enjoy this B-roll of the before and after Nike by You dunk. So I think I finally got the shoe exactly where I want it to be. Now, there are a lot of minor imperfections with my paint job, mainly from me just not taping well enough. I didn't tape over the exposed leather edge around like the toe box and around this leather panel right here. So there are spots where you can see the white paint where it should be red. I was going to go back and try to fix those imperfections and paint them red again. But then as I was doing that, I'm not good with the paintbrush. As I was trying to do that, I would just get the toe box red again. And I was like, you know, it really isn't worth my time trying to correct all these minor imperfections, because at the end of the day, these are going to be worn. I'm not trying to sell these. This isn't like a commission or anything. So these are going to get dirty and beat anyways. And from a distance, you can't even see the imperfections. You have to be like right up on it, like within a foot of it to really see it. From like, you know, a distance, from even standing up looking down, you really can't see those imperfections. And I think it turned out excellent. I'm glad that I ended up painting over this Nike logo, because it looked pretty bad when it was just orange. I think if it was red or white, it would have looked a lot better. But painting it black was really easy. The only thing I have left to do, and the only reason why I haven't laced these up and put them on body, is put a clear coat on it. Now, the only problem is, for whatever reason, Amazon is taking forever to deliver my clear coat for me, but I am just using a Krylon matte finish clear coat on it. You want to make sure you put a clear coat on your painted shoes. Otherwise, the paint is going to wear away super easily. It might even crack away. So definitely make sure that you put a clear coat on before you wear them and lace them up. I would also just let the paint dry for about 24 hours before you put a clear coat on. And then after you put the clear coat on, wait another 24 hours before you put them on feet. I would hate for anybody to do this and then put them on feet right away and watch their hard work go to waste. So definitely be patient, wait like a day or two before putting these on feet. And I think it will last a lot longer. But yeah, let me know what you all think of this paint job. Obviously, it's not perfect. I'm not a professional at this. I hope y'all got some useful information from this video and enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.